Yorkshire make the trip to Worcestershire in the T20 Blast. T20 game. Teams have just been announced. Yorkshire have won toss and they will bowl first.
Right, very good evening, everybody. Welcome to New Road. The sun's just gone in here. It's been a glorious day here at New Road. Lovely evening, but the sun's just disappeared behind the cloud, just as we are about to get underway here for this latest T20 Blast game here at New Road between the Worcestershire Rapids and the Yorkshire Vikings. The Rapids, of course, bottom of the North Group with just a 1 win from their 10 games so far, but they did pick up a point from their abandonment against Northants in their last game. So at last a bit of a change in the momentum potentially for the Rapids, and that's what these next 4 games are all about, to try and get the momentum going in the right direction and get some more wins under their belt. The Vikings are in 6th spot in the North Group, so they've very much got aspirations for reaching the top 4 and getting into the quarterfinals. They've got 11 points from their 10 games with 5 wins. So they are 3 points at the moment off Northamptonshire in the last qualifying spot at the moment. The news from the toss and the teams comes from Sally Bentley-Reid. Hi, Sal.
Hi, Dan. Thank you. Yorkshire won the toss and decided to bowl this evening. Probably not surprising with chance of showers around and also the rather green wicket.
So it's Matt Rivis will open from the New Road end, and he's been dispatched immediately by Ed Pollock into the mid-wicket region, into the crowd. And a perfect start for the Rapids, and welcome to the game, Matt Rivis. Fed that area, he's strong there, Ed Pollock, and that was 6 from the moment it left the bat.
The one change for Worcestershire Rapids, Jake Libby in for the injured Jack Haynes this evening, and for Yorkshire Vikings they've got Will Frayne and Dominic Leach out, George Hill and Jonathan Tattersall in.
They'll push for 2 here and they'll get them. That's good running between this pair. 6 off the first 2 balls. The Rapids, of course, desperate to change the results at the moment. It's been a really poor campaign for them so far in terms of the number of wins. Everyone, of course, disappointed with the way the Blast has gone this year, and very keen to try and make amends over these next 4 games. The captain, stand-in skipper Colin Munro, said after the defeat at Leicestershire that he felt that the players owed the fans one, and they're all really keen to try and change things around from here on in. It's a talented Yorkshire side who clearly fancy their chances of causing trouble on this green looking pitch here at New Road. It's been the one area that the Rapids have struggled in terms of losing wickets in the power plays this season. 5 times they haven't been able to negotiate the 6 overs without losing at least 3 wickets. They've lost 3 wickets in each of their last 4 matches in the first 6 overs. It might pick up 4 here. That's gone quite fine. It's just cut off down there at deep third. Pollock using the pace of the ball nicely there, from fending it from just in front of his chin.
Yeah, the stats are never good either, are they, when you lose 3 in the power play? But it's also come after sometimes some good starts in the sort of first half of the power play, and then they'll fall away.
Well, there's that percentage study done, hasn't there? I can't remember exactly what the figures were, but yeah, a third of matches are lost when you lose 3 or more wickets in the power play. D'Oliveira wants 2, and he should get it as well. Comfortably in the end. So D'Oliveira is away. And the end of a productive first over from the Rapids. That's more like it. 11 runs coming from that first over from Matt Rivis. Pollock has the lion's share of them. He's got 9. D'Oliveira off the mark with that 2 to end the over. Pollock, of course, is desperate for a score in the Blast this season. He's not really managed to get going. 28 off 15 balls against Birmingham Bears is his best, but his strike rate is terrific, 160. 25% of his runs have come from boundaries. His problem has been staying in long enough, but if he can hang around, then those stats are pretty good. He destructive presence.
Matthew Waite into the attack for Yorkshire, who did have a fortnight here at New Road earlier in the season. Didn't play that first T20 match against Yorkshire, obviously, but then played 3 games for Worcestershire whilst on loan, taking 3 wickets, and also played in the championship game when they played Leicestershire. Down on one knee from Pollock, as you say, looking for a real score in the competition this season so far. I'm going to be disappointed, given he was brought in really for being known as a white ball. Spec band on that. D'Oliveira himself in good form with the bat this season. High of 71 in the competition, his highest in the competition to date. That came against Birmingham Bears as well. It's gone high, should be taken, and has been taken, so Pollock again isn't going to get the score he wants in T20 this season. 9 from 8 for what turned out to be a straightforward catch to Waite this afternoon. Disappointment for him again. 3 dot balls to start the over, and then the wicket, the pressure built.
Yeah, you could see what he was trying to do, use the pace of the ball from Matthew Waite just to lift over, but perhaps not quite the percentages, because he couldn't have picked out deep third any better. He hardly had to move to come in and take that catch. Took it low, just in front of his shins, Matthew Revis. Either side of him, and he had a chance. So he'll be disappointed that he's picked out the man down there, because the shot was on. Not quite the right angle. Jake Libby is the new batter. Worcestershire lose their first wicket in this power play. Vital that they try and negotiate these 6 overs without too much damage.
Libby wants to get off the mark straight away, pinch that single. Again, not been a particularly successful T20 competition for him. High of 33 in the competition this season. Didn't play against Birmingham, didn't play in either of the Leicestershire games. And pressure just increases a little bit on Brett D'Oliveira with the form he's in. A fine opening over from Matthew Waite this evening. Just single and the wicket from it to dismiss Ed Pollock. Worcestershire, in the short time he was here, would have known about him somewhat, but he's made his mark early on.
Yeah, he did a good job in the county championship, coming in for the injured Joe Leach, and played 3 matches in this competition earlier in the campaign for the Rapids. 3 wickets in those 3 matches. That's his first wicket for Yorkshire since his return to Headingley. Revis is going to continuous first over costing 11. Should be just a single. Deep third and deep square leg are the two fielders allowed out of the inner circle in these opening 6 overs, in case you can't quite make that out on the screen. Nicely rocked back by D'Oliveira, but only the single. Top scorer for the Rapids this season in the Blast, Brett D'Oliveira, closing in on 300 runs. Nicely timed by Libby. Confident enough in that shot to come through for a single, just wide enough of cover. Yeah, after 2 really good seasons in the Blast, this has been a bit more of a problematic one for Jake Libby. Just hasn't been able to get going, and neither has Brett D'Oliveira. He's tickled that one behind. Tom Kohler-Cadmore, the former Rapids batter, does the rest behind the stumps, and D'Oliveira goes for 3. And the Rapids lose their second wicket, 15 for 2. And their in-form leading run scorer has gone. It's Tattersall behind the stumps. I was read out earlier that it was Tom Kohler-Cadmore behind the stumps, but Tattersall's got the gauntlets on. Good ball from Revis. Just a little bit of movement off the seam, enough to entice D'Oliveira forward and just nicking that outside edge. So the skipper is in early, not even through 3 overs, and the Rapids 2 wickets down. Speaking to him after the defeat up at Leicester, wasn't happy. Colin Munro knew that the batting performance wasn't good enough. 116 for 9 only mustered there. He knows things have to change. Well, he's got a bit of a testing moment here with this pitch, and Yorkshire with their tails up here.
It's very green, isn't it? When you look out to the middle, you almost have to look twice to see.
Yeah, it's deceiving on the screen. If you are watching, you can see that it does look quite a bit lighter, but to the naked eye, it's almost indistinguishable from the rest of the uncut strips. Not quite, but it's certainly very green, which might explain the Vikings' keenness to insert and see how the Rapids got on. Bit of rain around as well. It's a patchy forecast here in Worcester tonight, so that might have well been in their minds as well, Yorkshire, when they won the toss. End of the over, 15 for 2. Again, momentum is drying up here, just 3 runs coming off that over.
Wait, and surprisingly, we'll carry on from the Diglas end. Just missing Ed Pollock in his first over. scampering running. Chase back from inside the boundary by Lyth after that hit Libby, didn't it, I think?
Yeah, not quite Ben Stokes in the 2019 World Cup final. But that didn't hit the bat, I don't think, of Jake Libby at the non-striker's end. It's made quite a paddy sound.
Wasn't it?
The crowd were willing it on towards the boundary for the extra runs, but pulled up, and the two Rapids batters made no attempt to try and run some overthrows.
Monroe working that away, as you said, wants to see some positives from the games, doesn't he, just to give the fans something. Hasn't quite been coming together. They're saying they're having the right conversations off the field, but it's not quite working on the field for them at the moment. But it's about doing some of those things right, giving people something to enjoy. Even though qualification was out of the question, you still want to come and watch a winning team, a winning match.
Yeah, and they're going to have to do it the hard way as well, aren't they? Sadly, if they're going to try and get some W's on the board, because tonight, Yorkshire, tomorrow they go up to Edgbaston to take on Birmingham Bears, and they're in frightening form. And they finish off here over next weekend on Friday and Sunday against Lancashire and Nottinghamshire.
Tight stuff from Matthew Waite. 4 from the over so far. 1 ball to come. Not easy out there for the Worcestershire batsman.
No, and if they can come out tonight with a win and finish these next 3 games after tonight strongly, then hopefully that confidence will bleed back into the county championship and the One Day Cup, which is coming up in August.
Libby got anything on that or not?
Well, they're pretty convinced he touched that.
Yeah. Wide given. It was hard to tell from up here. Yeah, I think obviously they had the draw in the county championship, didn't they, between the defeats. They're not going well in the T20, but came away with the draw from the game up at Durham. I think it was the only draw in the whole round of county championship fixtures in both divisions.
I think they could still be playing up on that wicket, couldn't they? And it would still be still likely be a draw, yeah. But you've got to get the runs. I guess that's the thing. Saying it's a batting friendly service, which clearly it was. Was it 1,200 runs, something like that, for 17 wickets across the 4 days? So at the moment, nothing to write home about in the partnerships. Neither in the scorecard at the moment. Libby and Munro with a small rebuilding job here. I say small because they never have much time for that in T20 before your thoughts have to switch inevitably to attack. Jordan Thompson is the new bowler, replacing Matthew Reeves. He's Yorkshire's leading wicket taker in the competition. With 16 wickets. He's pretty useful with the bat as well. 66 not out from 28 balls last season in the win at Headingley when these two teams met in 2021. Also picked up his 50th T20 wicket for the Vikings in their win over Durham. Nicely dispatched. Libby likes it there. Short, wide, and cut away emphatically to the rope. Jake Libby's first boundary.
Yeah, Thompson took 3 for 35, didn't he, up at Headingley at the start of the competition. Was it Worcestershire's first match? And that game that many felt they probably should have won. Would have perhaps put the campaign on a different footing if they'd come away with a win there.
Yeah, that opening set of 4 games was incredibly difficult away from home. You'd like to have thought maybe that, okay, we've got to play him, it's difficult, but maybe we can come out with 1, maybe 2 wins. Certainly the Lancashire game out of that quartet was the one that probably got away the most.
Yeah, I think there's sort of times in probably most of those 4 where you would have liked to thought you were in with a chance.
There's a man out there now for that shot, so it's just a single.
It's always easy after the match, isn't it?
Yeah, but, you know, I think Tim David's innings was the difference between the sides there. Otherwise it might have been different.
It's that sort
It's
of
up at Old Trafford.
finishing role, isn't it? That he
Yeah,
has,
and there's
the big hitting, powerful, you know, come in and do that, take a game away.
There's been a few here in the home campaign as well. The games against Leicestershire, they'll look back on and think they should have closed that one out and won that. The game against Derbyshire as well. So they've had moments, but sadly they've not been able to take them when the opportunities have arisen, which is why they've only got the 1 win so far. That was outlying performance against the Birmingham Bears, a brilliant all-round display.
That's the element, isn't it? That everything came together in that game. Even with such a short format of the game, everything's got to sort of go your way on the evening, hasn't it? That, you know, all the decisions, all the fielding, that, you know, a couple of innings have got to come off, and everything has to work for you. Waite's going in for his 3rd over. Figures of 2 overs, 1 for 8 so far. Final over of the power play. Not going to be a high scoring one for the Worcestershire Rapids, and 2 wickets down.
Yeah, it's rare you see bowlers have 2 overs in a row, let alone 3 in T20s these days.
If they've often had the good first one opening up or something, or taking the wicket or something, you might often see them get the second. But like you say, to have a 3rd out of the 6 is rare these days, or in this form. That's working for them this evening.
But they've all clearly got a feeling. You know, Waite's bowling well, wickets offering a little bit of help, but certainly some carry there. Bit of movement as well. We saw in D'Oliveira's dismissal. And they know that if they can get another wicket here in the power play, then they'll fancy they're in business. Ed Barnard is the next batter to come in. I feel the door is ajar.
Jake Libby has got hold of that one. Not quite for 6, though. Just falls short inside the rope. But maybe just finding a little bit of timing. As much prodding of the pitch from these 2 batsmen, often meeting in the middle, having a poke at this green wicket. 4 to Libby. It's gone aerial again. Cola Cadmore will flick it back just inside the rope. A former Worcestershire man.
Yeah, brilliant from Cola Cadmore in the distance there. Looked like it was going to be a keen race between ball and man, and he got there just in time. Brilliant work putting that one in.
He wishes he was behind the stumps now.
Yeah.
That one in the air, but all lands safely in front of Jordan Thompson to end the over. So 38 for 2 at the end of the power play. Worcestershire, nothing too particularly right home about, but at least only the 2 wickets down, not the 3 or more.
Yeah, 9 runs coming off that over. It's their lowest power play total so far, but mitigating factors, the wicket is definitely helping the bowlers, and they have only lost 2 wickets, which is an improvement. So they do have an extra wicket in hand, bearing in mind the last 4 matches. Change of bowler. Shadab Khan. Spin for the first time. Nicely swept away by Colin Munro. 1 bounce 4. He is really keen to try and put on a show. The New Zealander. Enjoying the added responsibility in Moeen Ali's absence of leading the side. Nicely timed check drive too. Can the Rapids build something meaningful here in terms of partnership? Give themselves a platform from which to accelerate. Field a lot more spread, obviously. Now the power play's over. Fielders out on the deep at point. Long on, long off. Just behind square on the leg side and cow corner on the leg side. Think about 2, and they'll come back and get them as well. That's well run. Perfect pace and placement from Colin Munro. Any harder, and that would only have been a single. Any closer to Tom Cola Cadmore, that also had only been 1. So nicely judged. Quicker, just about. Kept it out there, Munro. Nice variation from Shadab Khan, the Pakistan international. First season in the blast for him. But plenty of experience for his country, over 100 white ball games for Pakistan. And Libby's a bit cross there. He reckons he might have found the gap either side of deep point. Had the time to find the angle, and in the end hit it straight to him. He was a bit cross as soon as that left his bat. End of the over though. Single to finish. Libby's up to 20. 48 for 2. 10 runs coming from that first over from Shadab Khan. So Waite's not going to bowl through. That's disappointing, because I
Yeah,
haven't
I
seen
wanted
anyone
that.
bowl 4 overs
Wanted to bowl
on the
through.
spin for quite some time.
Right. Young George Hill. Wow. 21. In the England under-19s, 10 T20 matches. 57 runs in that time and 1 wicket. Well stopped by Matthew Waite, restricting any run. We obviously want to keep him for one later. Maybe it was that third over that just tipped it from the 1 for 8 from the first 2. Maybe pushes it away. Set off quickly, but only 1 there. Be interesting to see. I wonder what sort of if and what pressure Colin Munro feels after a lot of those comments following the recent games and all the disappointment and what he's saying about the fans and needing to give something, the performances needing to be that bit sharper, tighter, put something together. 2 down, and he's one of the batsmen in form. That will go away for 4. 4 more to Munro.
Well, it's really nicely timed. It's just a whip of the wrist at the last second through the ball. That's absolutely flown down to fine leg. Matthew Waite, the fielder, who's not a million miles away from it, just behind square on the leg side for the left-hander. Not a chance of getting to that. He only had maybe 20 yards to go to his left.
Dab down from the 4 to the single. They're going to have to pick up any runs they can this afternoon.
I mean, again, about what we were saying about Munro, Sal. I mean, he's trying to own it. That was the impression I got from talking to him after Leicester. Not pulling any punches, it's straight to him. They know it hasn't been good enough, and he was saying that the players know that, and it has to be better. And he said, I'm part of that as well. I need to string a score somewhere along the line.
Well, it was the game up at Northants, wasn't it, where I think Moeen Ali sort of laid into the team somewhat as well. So, like you say, they're not trying to hide anything. It's just, like you say, sort of owning that. It's taking that responsibility, isn't it? That it's not through necessarily lack of trying or wanting, but it's just not coming together across a whole 40 overs.
And they're honest enough to say the confidence is not great either at the moment. It wouldn't be, given the run that they've had, and what T20 is like. You can get on a roll in a good way and very much in a wrong way as well, and that's unfortunately just what the Rapids have been on at the moment. Change of bowling. Shadab Khan has gone off. Leg spin replaced by off breaks. Dom Bess.
But that's where probably those 4 games being away from home as well. I mean, no game in the competition's guaranteed, is it, against any opposition? But starting those 4 games away, your Yorkshire, your Notts, your Lancs, and then Durham is.
Well, it's harder to think of
tough,
4
isn't it?
harder ones away
Yeah.
from home, isn't it? Straight away.
And I think probably just being away from home, having 4 home games, before away games, before you get back to New Road and have your crowd. Not many people are going to travel for T20, or unless you have moved around the country to some of those games for 40 overs, are they at the moment? Probably
No, and added to that, of course, the Rapids' home record has been really good in the last couple of years. So to not be at home for so long early in the competition is tough. But they've not been able to make the most of their opportunities at home when they found themselves in a position to go on and win the game. A bit short from Bess, but Libby again a bit frustrated that he's picked out the man.
We say it clicked in the Birmingham game, didn't it? But there were chances, opportunities, the games, the Leicester, the Derbyshire at home as well. Like you say, didn't take the chances that were there for them.
And I think that probably comes down to confidence. And it's taken a blow there. Libby's been yorked. Libby's gone for a decent 24. And the Rapids lose their third wicket. Bess fires it in. And Libby can't dig it out. Slightly quicker. Right in the block hole. And Libby looking to be aggressive. Is cleaned up. Ed Barnard is the new batter. 59 for 3. Not yet at the halfway point in this Rapids innings. So just a switch of ends then really for Shadab Khan. 1 over from the New Road end. He's now going to try his luck from the Diglis end. Just 4 runs off that over and the loss of the wicket.
Monroe over the top, down the ground, 6. Khan's first ball of the over, and they just tinkered with the field and moved Cola Cadmore slightly wider at long off, but Monroe's gone very straight with that one, just to the side of the sight screen.
Well, already you sense, don't you, that Monroe is the key.
Yeah, I don't say anything.
No,
like,
I know what you mean.
Every time we say things in some of the past games, things seem to happen. So, but it is. I think it's going to revolve around him. Isn't there? There's no question about that now.
And this is the balance, isn't it, for him as a batter, as a captain as well. He's got that added responsibility to know that, you know, his wicket is the prize one now for Yorkshire and for the Rapids, and he'll want to be there at the end. But he also knows that can't afford to let the momentum drop.
But then on the other hand, that's what you know, the overseas pro. You've been brought in. You've got over 300 T20 matches and 65 T20 internationals. You know, do your thing. Now's your chance to show that experience, isn't it? Swept round, but picks out Hill.
The added complication is that a team short on confidence, which is what they've been. Ed Barnard's in now, Kashi Valley. He's just come into the team in the last couple of weeks. Is in next, Gareth Roderick, who's been struggling for runs. Again, he's not played much T20 cricket this summer. And then Dwayne Bravo, as you mentioned. And then the bowlers after him. Or the out-and-out bowlers, I probably should say. Although Baker can certainly bat.
And it's that difficulty you get into, isn't it, with low confidence, low sort of potentially low mood in the camp, and it's hard to break that cycle. 9 from the over with that 6.
Best to continue. So halfway through, 10 overs remaining at the start of this over from Dom Bess. Three wickets in his 9 matches so far for the England off-spinner. 2 for 24. The best in the competition for him to date. He's actually getting a second over here, which is more than he's averaged in the competition so far. So he's really got beyond 6 deliveries so far for the Vikings. So that puts his 3 wickets into some fairer context.
Best of 2 for 30 against Worcestershire in the past.
So the field switches round for the right-handed and the new man Ed Barnard. Boundary riders at deep square leg, cow corner, cover, long on and long off. Easy single dropped into the leg side as a result of all those players out in the deep. And for Munro, he's got cover at deep backward square, mid-wicket, long on, long off, and cover point. Everyone else in the ring. It's a 2-2 field in terms of the ring. He goes big. I think he's got enough of this. Just has he? No, it's been taken. Oh, that was a matter of inches. The fielder in the deep took an excellent catch, but he had to be very, very aware of exactly where his foot was. And that can't have been more than an inch or so the right side of the rope as far as the Vikings are concerned. Terrific work from Tom Kohler-Cadmore in the deep. Had a long time to position himself there. Would have been aware of approximately where the boundary was. And looked like he'd got all of that, Colin Munro, but not quite enough. And Kohler-Cadmore taking an excellently judged catch. Munro's gone for 29. The big wicket for the Vikings. The big wicket for the Rapids. Their captains departed. Penultimate ball of the over. Kashif Ali is in. He played well up at Leicestershire. In a similarly testing position. A few more runs on the board though than he had then. Showed some promise in that little knock of 24. And again, he's now got the chance to show what he's made of here. 70 for 4. Another successful over for the Vikings. Best striking. And crucially, just the 2 runs coming off it. So there's no better way to slam the brakes on a side than take a wicket. Not only that, Munro, the key wicket, snared by the Vikings. He's gone rapid 70 for 4. And 2 new men at the crease. Ed Barnard's only faced 3 deliveries. Kashif just the 1. Pressure starting to build on the Rapids again.
Shadab Khan been given a 3rd over. Barnard down on 1 knee. Only a single in it though. Into the 12th over. Shadab Khan just making sure the fielders are exactly where he wants them. Within a few feet. Kashif Ali can't break the close fielders. Harry Brooke in there. Trying to cut that one away, but it's just not quite working for Worcestershire at the minute. As Dan mentioned, 2 new batsmen in the crease. The crease always makes it a little bit more tricky. Full toss, hit away for 4. And Kashi Valley would have been disappointed if he'd missed out on that one.
Yeah, gift from Shadab there. He's not going to miss those. Kashi Valley, lots of time to pick his spot, which he did easily past the man short in there at mid-on. And once he got it past him, it was always going to be 4. Didn't try and hit it too hard.
Can't break that inner circle though. Don't know an awful lot about Kashi Valley. He's with the county till the end of the season after having a trial with Worcestershire and a number of other clubs. Runs in the 2s though. I was impressed enough to be asked to stay on till the end of the season. 12 gone, 76 for the Rapids. So slow progress for them this evening. Wickets just chipping away as well, making it all the more tricky.
Yeah, going along just over 6 and over. Hard to tell exactly how good that is given this pitch, which as you can see is still pretty green. 8 overs remain. Don Bess is going to carry on here after his successful over getting rid of Colin Monroe. Only 2 players so far for Worcestershire into double figures. Libby 24 and Monroe 29. So that has to change if they're going to get up towards a defendable total here. And there's another wicket. Confident appeal. Ed Barnard looking to dispatch that somewhere near the ladies' pavilion. Over on the leg side. And trapped bang in front. Bess with another slightly quicker delivery. And Worcestershire lose their 5th wicket. Bess strikes again. Mystery why hasn't averaged more than 2 overs a match so far, given his performance tonight. Gareth Roderick comes out to join Kashi Valley. Again, half the team out. 7 overs remaining after this one. Field stays pretty much the same for the new batter. Long on has come in 10 yards or so from the boundary. He'll field the ball here. Finn Allen, the New Zealander. Will be leading the Vikings charge in whatever total the Rapids set them. No chance of a second. They did run that first half of the run pretty quickly, hoping there might be a chance to come back, put some pressure on the fielders, but quickly became apparent that it was only going to be a single. The Rapids need some boundaries here. The last ball of the over. Trouble here. Oh, just back there, Kashif. That was a right old muddle. And Worcestershire cannot afford to gift wickets with some poor running. Never a single there, it looked, from Gareth Roderick. Almost left his partner high and dry. That's the card for the Rapids. Just those two scores in double figures. And pretty decent figures from all the Yorkshire bowlers. Best 3 for 9. Outstanding stuff from him. 7 overs remain. 79 for 5. Just 3 runs off that over and the wicket.
George Hill being brought back in for a second over for him. You mentioned needing boundaries. There's been just 2 6s and 5 4s in the Rapids innings with 13 overs gone. That one just out of the reach of the diving Matthew Waite. Thought another few inches. I think he was just going to pouch that one. Valley close with that one. To push hard, run the first quickly again, but need to be a bit wary of any dangerous second runs at the moment with 5 wickets gone. Cannot afford to throw away a wicket. Dwayne Bravo will be the next man in. Josh Baker, Pat Brown and Mitchell Stanley as well. Nicely played by Roderick, but again it's just a single. You look down at the Yorkshire card, the team, their experience and the form some of their batsmen are in, and I think they'd make light work of any possible total Worcester are going to get at this current run rate of just over 6 run a ball.
I mean, we've said it before, it's worth reiterating about the pitch.
Yeah, it's not really showing up on the cameras, is it? But hit nicely by Kashif, but again just a single to finish the over. 3 singles and a 2 from it. 84 for 5. The Rapids, 14 gone, 6 to go.
Kashif has joined the double figures club. He's the 3rd batter, only to get into double figures. Needs to keep going, as does Gareth Roderick, to propel the Rapids towards something defendable. 6 overs to go, 84 for 5. And Dom Bess is going to carry on here. Carrying on his terrific work and carrying on with a theme that's dogged the Rapids in the Blast this summer. Career best figures for the England spinner at the moment. Best figures against Worcestershire. He's got 3 for 10 at the moment. His career best is 3 for 17. We've seen a number of players this summer achieve personal bests against the Rapids. Can't have missed by much either. Roderick on the sweep. Only one over so far for the Rapids into double figures. That was the first over after the power play, where they took 10. Everything else has been in single figures. But of course, Yorkshire, when they come to bat, they'll put the pitch into some kind of context. Oh, it's a terrific effort at mid-wicket. That was really nailed by Kashif Ali. And he did really well, Shadab Khan, to get both hands to it. Wisely got his head out of the way as well, because that was absolutely motoring. But the catch goes down at mid-wicket. And a life for Kashif, who cashes in immediately, creaming that full toss to the cover boundary to end the over on a high for the Rapids. So 3 wickets for 15. Those are career best figures in T20 cricket for Dom Bess. Terrific stuff from him. 90 for 5, the Rapids total. 6 runs coming from that. So just 5 overs to go. The Rapids going along at exactly 6 and over so far. Shadab Khan to bowl out, none for 25 from his 3 so far.
Yeah, fantastic figures from Dom Bess. You say not bowled an awful lot in the tournament, but 3 for 15, bettering his 3 for 17 in T20 cricket up to this evening. Kashif Ali on 16 now. Giving that lifeline on 12. Cuts it away. Beats Adam Lyth. And it will run away for 4. Another boundary. Much needed for Worcestershire this afternoon. Or this evening. Thompson couldn't get round.
Another good shot from Kashif. Well, he's doing his bit here. All he can do. Lovely timing.
Straight this time. Yeah, some very nice cricket shots from him this evening. Valuable innings so far. Thought about the single Gareth Roderick, but Kashif Ali knew he'd be running into danger there. Weight was up quickly. Khan wants Thompson square on the boundary. On the point boundary. Certainly moves the fielders around a lot when he's bowling. Getting them just where he wants them. One ball to come of his final over. Kashif Ali's gone aerial. That should land safely between the 2 men. Won't go away for 4. Thompson manages to grab it. Settle for 2. And on 99 for 5, the Rapids after 16, 4 to come.
Well, that's really good batting from Kashif at the end of the over. He was looking to go big, but he knew there were fielders out there in the deep at long off and at sort of deep point, and he opened the face of the blade right at the last second, steered it into that gap. In the end, it was a really safe shot. Unfortunately for him and the Rapids, not quite out of the screws to get it to the fence. But best partnership of the match, bar the one between Libby and Monroe. So they're going along nicely here, Kashif and Roderick. 4 overs to go. Rapids could do with them staying in for all 4. They're in, they're set. And they've got to get the Rapids up to something defendable here on this pitch, which we'll say again is offering some assistance to the bowlers. Always difficult to gauge how competitive a score is as a result of that. But nevertheless, they've got to get up towards the sort of 140s, you would think. That's good running to start with a couple. Have to show that intent. And there's the 100 up. Going along at 6 1/4. That rate will get them around about 125. They'll want, if not 140, certainly beyond 130. Lovely shot for none from Roderick. Made a very nice sound off the bat. Whacking it straight to mid-off.
Frustration, isn't it, using the pace, and it sounds like that off the bat. You feel like you deserve something, certainly a run, if not more from that.
Yeah, well, mid-off is up because they've got third man back, and that's nicely placed. Roderick manufactured that a touch. Knew there was some traffic on that left-hand side out towards the marquee, the leg side, but managed to muscle it through the gap. Crucial boundary. He goes into double figures. Rapids 105 now, halfway through the 17th. Oh, lovely. Really nice from Roderick. Might be all the way. It is. Terrific. Really nice invention from Gareth Roderick, using the pace of the ball, helping it on its way. And obviously with fine leg up on the circle, even if it'd been back on the rope, it still would have been 6. Nelson on the board. Roderick up to 17. 12 from the over. 2 balls to go. This is more like it from the Rapids. Goes again, really hard out towards deep square leg. Straight to Adam Lyth.
Just want to, like you say, you want to get up to a decent total, something you feel is at least going to be defendable. Like you say, you don't know quite about the wicket, but also it's that momentum swing, isn't it, going into the interval?
Yeah, well, we saw it here against
against
Leicestershire, didn't we?
Yeah.
The way they finished their innings with 32, I think it was, from the last 2. Set them up. There's 4 more. Not exactly where Kashif wanted to play it, but they all count. The top edge over the wicketkeeper Tattersall, and away to the boundary down there at the Basil d'Oliveira stand. That'll do very nicely for Kashif Ali and for the Rapids to end a very, very good over. Their best of the innings so far. 17 runs coming from it. And now they have something to push on. Almost up to 7 runs and over. Their best over in the match so far. And the tail of that worm getting steeper as it needs to as we close in on 20 overs. 116 for 5, 3 to go.
White back on for his last over. 3 overs, 1 for 16 so far. Wants Bess in at third man, tight. Well, he's moving further to leg. They'll scamper through for a leg bite. Every run needed for Worcestershire this evening. Run rate still just under 7, so nothing spectacular, but building something to come out and bowl against.
Worth mentioning, this is Gareth Roderick's highest ever score for Worcestershire in the T20 Blast. I know he hasn't played many games.
Kashifali gets hold of it, and it does. Goes just over the man on the square leg boundary. Was quite close to him. Is it Cola Cadmore back down there? He's getting a former Worcestershire man was getting a little bit of stick from the crowd earlier, I think.
Well, he's showing some ticket here, Kashifali. Good up at Leicestershire. Good mature innings in very trying circumstances. And again, he's standing up for his team here. Terrific pull out the park over mid-wicket.
He's gone big again. It's right into the D'Oliveira stand. And this is a fine innings from Kashifali, and just getting the crowd going as well. Decent crowd in this evening to see Worcestershire play Yorkshire Vikings, and it's just bringing them alive a little bit more.
Well, if it's short, it's going. If it's up there, it's going as well. 50 partnership is up. Saw the slower ball.
Full on. Probably feel he's missed out a bit on that one, but takes the single anyway after the 2 sixes. Moves on to 40 from 25. Just what Worcestershire needed.
Now they might be eyeing 150. Can they get to 150?
That would be a sort of quite a
2 balls to go plus 2 overs.
psychological marker, wouldn't it, that? A 150 up. Roderick this time into the hotel. Smacks onto the wall of the hotel. Pulled that round the corner. And he's joining in with the boundaries as well.
Well, this is what we haven't seen enough of in the Blast this summer so far for the Rapids. 6 is flying from both ends here. Kashifali and now Gareth Roderick in on the act. Sweet strike again. Hitting one of the windows, I think, on the first floor of the hotel.
That one wide, and he manages to get bat on it. Not particularly nice ball, not particularly nice shot, but Worcestershire won't care about that this evening. It's 4 runs that matter. End of the 18th over, 140 for 5.
24 off that over, 31 from the last 2. Fantastic from these two. An over too far from Matthew Waite. 4 overs, 1 for 39. His figures pulverised from that last over. And now the Rapids, definitely 150 in their sights. 2 overs to go. This has been thrilling stuff from them. Led by Kashifali. What a mature innings this has been from the young man. 40 from 25. Revis is coming back. 1 for 14 from his 2. So he's not going to end up bowling out. Him and Thompson you'd expect would be the 2 to finish up. Kashif 10 away from a maiden half century. Just the single, again nicely timed by Kashif. Two of them have a bit of a long distance chat. Let's keep it going. Don't need too much of a conference about that. 141 for 5. The Rapids with the momentum. The crowd want a wide.
choice on the timing, wasn't it, for these two? Though, when did they tee off? When they were 5 wickets down, wasn't it? You'd lost the 5th wicket when there were 77 runs on the board.
That's in the gap as well. Won't go to the fence, but just the single. I haven't got all the stats in front of me, but off the top of my head, not sure they've ever got 24 off an over in the competition so far. That might be the best over they've had in the campaign. Well, 21 off the first over against Birmingham, I remember, but
yeah, that over from Paul Sterling.
Yeah. It hasn't got that. It's in the air, but he might be safe. I think he is, yes. Complete miss hit from Kashi Valley, but falling safely. Now is the luck with the Rapids here in these final throws of their innings. Light is not great. That was a chance and Roderick knows it. He knew the opportunity there for the ramp was on because third man is up on the edge of the circle. He's come in from the boundary. As Yorkshire look to protect that deep backward square region with boundary riders. And one of them might be interested here, but I think it's straight enough. It is. Back they come for 2 to end the over. So Yorkshire apply the brakes to some degree. Five runs off that over. 145 for 5. 1 to go. It is going to be Thompson.
Jordan Thompson to finish up for the Yorkshire Vikings. 2 overs for 24 so far. What can Kashi Valley do in this final over? 42 to him now. You can't time that one. As we mentioned, though, there's going to be more of a positive air, you'd hope, for Worcestershire Rapids going into change of innings. Just pushed on with these two. Right, not full ball again. Thompson using his experience to close out this.
This is a good start though from Thompson.
2 dot balls.
A lot of pressure on him in this last over. All the recent momentum has been with the Rapids. That 41 run swing in 2 overs.
Well, again, Kashi Valley doesn't quite time it. I'm just going to take the single down the ground and in the air, but only as far as the circle in the end.
150 is 1 hit away though.
Really just want to see that 150 on the board, don't you, as you're going in, I think, from Worcestershire's point of view. Roderick on 31. I think it's a high of 32 in T20 cricket for him, isn't it? If you can better that. Moving around in the crease. Take a leg by, as we said, they all count. Worcestershire won't mind how they come. Two balls to go. Again, in the air, Kashi Valley. Safe. Picks out over the head of the inner fielder and comes back for 2. Be good to finish it with a 6, wouldn't it? 50 for him. Well deserved that'd be.
Yeah. He gave
55 on the board.
he gave the toe of his bat a look then, as if to say, obviously he didn't time it well. But I reckon if he had hit that well, he might have been in danger of being caught.
Final ball along the ground, and only a single to finish off. Well bowled, has to be said, by Jordan Thompson, that final over. And Worcestershire finish up on that 150. 150 exactly, 150 for 5. And a lot to be thankful for the batting of Gareth Roderick in the end, 31, and Kashi Valley 45 from 21 and 31 balls respectively. Worcestershire managed to up the boundary count in the end. 6 sixes and 10 fours. Will it be enough?
Well, it certainly feels like a defendable total, especially on this pitch. And that's a terrific effort from those two. Kashi Valley, 46, his highest innings for the Rapids so far in his fledgling T20 career. How well he's played, coming from 32 deliveries with 4 fours and 2 sixes. Gareth Roderick, hats off to him as well. His personal best for the Rapids, not out at 31. It's his highest ever score in T20 cricket, actually, of 21 deliveries with 2 4s and 2 6s, and they really have dragged Worcestershire towards a pretty decent total, I reckon, because at 90 for 5 with 5 to go, you did fear that they wouldn't get up towards something that would give them a chance to defend. But that 41 run period in the 17th and 18th over gave them a huge shot in the arm, and they carried that over the line to finish on 150, which I reckon they would have bitten your hand off if you'd offered them with 5 overs to go. The bowling figures for the Yorkshire Vikings, career best figures for the England off-spinner Dom Best, 3 for 15 from his 4. Excellent work too from Matt Revis, 1 for 19 from his 3. Matt Waite bowled his first 3 overs straight off the reel and did extremely well, but then got hammered in his last over, which dented his figures a bit, but still very good. 1 for 39 from his 4 overs. None for 28 from Jordan Thompson, and none for 34 from Shadab Khan, and then a couple of overs for Hill. But Kashi Valley and Gareth Roderick there, the stars for the Rapids in that total of 150, building on the good work earlier of Jake Libby and Colin Munro in particular. So 151 will be the target for the Yorkshire Vikings to win this game under the fading light here at New Road. Might be a bit of showery rain around as well. We'll have to wait and see. Hopefully that stays away. We want to see a full game here. But the Rapids, I reckon, have certainly given themselves a chance. Confirmation there of the excellent bowling figures for the Vikings. Dom Bess, outstanding in particular. So we'll pick up the run chase for the Yorkshire Vikings as they try and chase down 151 to win in just under 10 minutes' time. Do join us then.
Welcome back to New Road for the second half of this evening's T20 match between Worcestershire Rapids and Yorkshire Vikings. The Yorkshire run chase just about to get underway. Worcestershire ended up making 150 for 5 from their 20 overs. Fantastic knocks from Kashi Fowley and Gareth Roderick to get them to that total. And that last partnership, having lost the 5th wicket with the score on 77. And for Yorkshire Vikings, Adam Lyth and Finn Allen will open up. Welcome to the Worcestershire streaming. I'm Sally Bentley-Reid, and Dan Wheeler is alongside me for this evening's game. Well, for every game at New Road. And as we mentioned in the first half of the match, this is a very green looking wicket. It probably shows up when the straighter camera's on, and we'll see what Worcestershire can do. Ed Barnard to begin. Not the start Worcestershire want, starting with a wide. Hasn't opened up at all in the competition so far.
No, they know that these two are going to go really hard at them as well. Adam Lyth and Finn Allen, big hitting reputations. Lyth has had a terrific blast so far. He's Yorkshire's top run scorer. Over 350, closing in on 400 runs this summer. Nearly 3,500 runs in his T20 career so far. 22 50s, 1 century. And Phil Allen, the New Zealander, got his chance with the Black Caps after phenomenal power hitting performance in domestic cricket in New Zealand. There's an example of it straight away. Sally's intention.
Say, he's not going to be wondering, is he? Starts to dance down the wicket. And you're mentioning Adam Lyth's form as well. When these two teams meet, Adam Lyth has the most runs, 267 in meetings between them, followed by Harry Brook with 215. Again, big swing from Finn Allen.
He swapped the roses this summer as well, from the red of Lancashire from 2021 to the white of Yorkshire for this summer. Just under 400 runs last year for Lancs. Strike rate of 160 as he helped them get to the quarter-finals. So had a good time last year.
Aerial short of Pat Brown, who's one of the 2 men out. Patrolling in front of the ladies' pavilion. Jake Libby out on the cathedral side of the ground. That's big. 6 to open up from Adam Lyth after a single. Smacked straight down the ground over the head of Dwayne Bravo. He's on the circle in these first 6 overs. Dwayne Bravo.
Oh, it's brilliant batting from Adam Lyth. Use of the feet. Such a clean hit.
This time leg side. And just away from Jake Libby. 6 more. Again, I think it would have been close to him. It didn't go far over the rope. Jake Libby was having to run round to start with. Not the tallest of players either. And away from him. Clearing the rope. 15 from the first over. from Ed Barnard this evening. 15 on the board for the Yorkshire Vikings.
Yeah, not a great first over from Ed Barnard. Started with a wide, and then that long hop pulled out the ground off that last delivery. Terrific start for Yorkshire then. Now then, Mitchell Stanley opening up from the Diglas end. What an introduction he had to T20 cricket up at Leicestershire. Wicket with his first ball. Making his home debut. Here he comes. It was Harry Swindles he got his first delivery, a fast Yorker, toe crusher. Another very promising youngster, just 21. Lights improved here at New Road. It was pretty dark at the end of the Rapids innings. It's definitely got a bit lighter. 16 without loss. Not much. Still pretty murky. 151 the target. That's high. And Kashir might get round to it. Oh, it's a terrific effort. It's Josh Baker, beg his pardon. That was in the air a long time. Made really good ground. But just couldn't quite hang on. Got both hands to it by the look of it. That top edge from Allen going nowhere near where he intended. And that's dribbled away for 4 to add insult to injury. It's got hold of that one much better. Smacking into the windows on the first floor of the hotel. Allen finding his range here. But that was less about muscle, all about timing from the Kiwi. Just straying too close to his pads and helping it on its way. Effortless from Finn Allen. He's into double figures, and the Vikings motoring here in the early stages, up to 26 already. 11 off the over. High again. Who wants this one? Well held. Ed Pollock, very well done. Skyer doesn't do that one justice. That went miles up in the air when he got in position, and he held on to it very well. And Allen, just as he was looking dangerous, has gone. Nipped in the bud. Mitchell Stanley, successful wicket. Big old heave. Right underneath it, thick outside edge. Nicely judged. And the former Rapids man, Tom Kohler-Cadmore, is the new batter. Last season up at Headingley's, moving to Somerset next summer. 38 matches for the Rapids, just under 1,000 runs, 915, 550s and 100 in his time here, and still holds the record for the highest individual T20 score of 127 against Durham here back in 2016. So the Rapids know all about his power. Former Malvern College pupil. And he's in early on after the loss of Finn Allen. Rapids striking in the power play, and a slip goes in. Pollock, who held that steepler, now in there at first slip. Edgy start, literally, from Cola Cadmore. Baker tidying up at deep third. One ball remaining. Averaging just under 39, Cola Cadmore in this summer's blast for the Vikings. High score of 77. One of 2 half centuries. Lyth connects sweetly. Slapped out through backward point. Away it whistles to the fence. End of the over. Lyth up to 17. It's 31 for 1. 16 coming off that over from Mitchell Stanley, but crucially the wicket of Finn Allen. $120 to win with 18 overs to go.
Yeah, as you mentioned, that crucial wicket of Finn Allen. The chance that Baker couldn't quite get to, went away for 4 and then a 6, and then Pollock managed to take that catch. Pat Brown into the attack for this 3rd over. Cola Cadmore goes huge though, straight into the ladies' pavilion, and announces that he's back at New Road.
Yeah, satisfying clatter from his point of view into the bench there at the back row in the ladies' pavilion. Picked up the length so quickly there, Cola Cadmore. Gave that the full beans.
Short by Pat Brown, should be taken. Roderick's coming with the gloves and doesn't get there. And you have to say that I think Ed Barnard coming up for that would have been the one to take the catch. He was coming in. Generally, that's always going to be easier coming into the catches than coming across or going back. Baker was fairly near himself. It landed just past the circle. I know you've got the gloves on, but Ed Barnard was much, much nearer. It's gone up into probably a difficult sky for catching the white ball. Barnard being sent back to the boundary. That has to be a bad miss from Worcestershire. Will they be made to pay? Lyth on 17. Pat Brown follows it up with a wide. Oh, he took a single. Cola Cadmore, sorry, given the life.
Yeah, that could end up being very costly. Be absolutely right. Was it Roderick's catch? It looked easier for, as you said, one of 2 players coming in, Baker or Barnard, running into the ball. And if you make the decision to go as a keeper, he had to run a long way there, Gareth Roderick. A good 50 yards or so,
You're running
almost.
with pads on
Running
as well.
with pads on. And in the end, a full-length dive over his shoulder.
It didn't even go into the gloves and out, did he? He didn't quite get there. And you're running into the area where Alex Wharf is standing umpiring, but yes, probably would go down as bad judgment from the Worcestershire fielders. That one's in the air, but one bounce into the hands of Barnard this time. It has to be said, didn't look too thrilled after that catch went down.
Well, he's one of the best fielders in the team, isn't he?
Well, yeah. He's taken some blinding catches in T20 cricket in the last few years. Namely ones that, a couple that stick in the mind, up at Trent Bridge and Old Trafford. ones you just thought no one was going to get there. Suddenly Ed Barnard appeared on the boundary and stuck out a hand, or an arm and a hand.
Oh, an easy game to play, obviously, from up here, but you've got to ask the question about it. What's the percentage call there? I'm not sure it was the keeper.
Ristily worked away from Cola Cadmore, that time on to 9. I mean, there was a shout, but there wasn't much shouting out there, was there, when that was up in the air, and it was up in the air for a long time. And you say the way Gareth Roderick was having to run compared to Josh Baker or Ed Barnard, where they're fielding, you'd have thought they'd had a much easier sight of the ball once it had gone that high in a murky sky. Brown finishes over. Cut hard by Cola Cadmore, and it will get to the rope. Barnard can't come round and cut that one off. So Yorkshire, after a flying start, 45 for 1 after 3, making light work of this chase at the moment. Dwayne Bravo into the attack. We didn't see him with the bat, somewhat disappointingly, although obviously the partnership at the end meant he didn't get a bat.
Well, the Rapids just have to say to themselves, we've created opportunities. Okay, might have gone better that last one with Cola Cadmore, but just got to back yourself to create another one. And that's what they'll be thinking. 45 for 1. Dwayne Bravo now needs to come on and carry on his decent stuff with the ball that he's shown in recent games. He's got something on this, has he, Cola Cadmore? Wait for the signal. Might be 4, might be leg byes. The signal is leg byes. Definitely 4, but not off the bat.
When the two met here last season, we were treated to that rather sublime innings by Johnny Bairstow, who managed to...
Remember it being a lot warmer this game last year and a lot brighter.
It was 112 off 51 balls on one leg, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a pretty special knock.
Power hitting at its finest.
Well, he's got hold of that. Not even looking, Tom Cola Cadmore. Soon as it left his bat, he was down looking at the ground, doing a bit of gardening, and a quick look to his teammate Adam Lyth at the non-striker's end. He knew how good that was, how sweet that connection. Absolutely superb shot. I think it was shelled in the crowd, which was disappointing. To be fair, if I look at that, that gentleman did quite well to get there. He started from quite a way out.
He didn't have pads on.
No. 55 for 1. Slower from Dwayne Bravo. Cola Cadmore looks in the mood against his old club. Cashing in on that life on 7. Lyth 22 from 7 at the other end as well. Absolutely motoring. Looking good for the Vikings at the moment. Just beyond the halfway point in the power play. Again, pace off from Bravo. They're going to pinch a single down to short third. The boundary riders are out at cover point and long off. Change round for the left-hander, so it's deep mid-wicket. There's another tweak here. Deep mid-wicket and cow corner for the left-hander. Everyone else up in the circle. Lots of room out there with 2 of the 3 men in the deep. Brett D'Oliveira at regulation mid-on doing the fielding.
I think as you're chasing 151, you've already hit a 6 from the over. You're not having to do a lot else, are you? There's space there to just amble a single, really. Mentioned Cola Cadmore going to Somerset, and he's been let go a year early, hasn't he?
He has, yeah. They've let him leave 12 months before the end of his contract. They've signed Harry Brook, though, who's been in such terrific form this summer and on the fringes of the England Test side as well. He signed a long-term deal this week, 5 years, I think it is, for Harry Brook. So the end of the over, Dwayne Bravo's first. 8 coming from it.
Brown staying on at the New Road end.
I don't want to send a chill to the Rapids fans, but on comparison, Yorkshire 57 for 1, Rapids 22 for 2.
Yeah, he had 11 off the first over, didn't they? 10 off the 7th, after 7 and 9. It wasn't till that later on in the innings, the end, you had a 17, a 24, and then only 5 off the last 2 as well. Each of the last 2. We know, but a lot of those other overs were all under 10, weren't they? Some of them only really around a run a ball, 5, 6, 7. One's big. Has it cleared the rope? It has. 6 more for Adam Lyth, who certainly likes batting against Worcestershire. Already a boundary count for Yorkshire, just climbing up, making it look easy, really.
Yeah, another really clean hit from Adam Lyth. Even the angle of going round the wicket, trying to cramp the left-hander up for room's not working.
This one's gone high, though. It should be taken. There's a call. Bravo made sure that one was his. You see, he called and put his hands out to say that's mine. And coming in to take this one, Adam Lyth, gone for 29. Removes another of the danger men. Although it doesn't get any better for Worcestershire because Harry Brook's coming into the middle.
No, he's definitely the man in form, but another knee jangler in terms of a steepling catch for Worcestershire. There might be a collision there at mid-on before Dwayne Bravo made it his and hung on well. And good bowling too from Pat Brown, because previous ball had been smacked for 6 off a similar length delivery, but again he put it up there, took pace off it and drew the mistake from Lyth. The mistimed shot, top edge, and well taken by Bravo. But that's really good bowling from Pat Brown, having the courage to come back and put it in a similar area, but change his variation, and he outfoxed Adam Lyth there, and that's what brought the wicket. Outthought him. 64 for 2. Very, very good response from Pat Brown.
Accurate again from Pat Brown to follow up the wicket ball. Yeah, Pat Brown just also starting to look this season, this T20 competition, more like the Pat Brown of 2018, 2019. It should be positive for the Worcestershire Rapids. Had those 31 wickets in 2018. 65 wickets for Worcestershire over the years. 8 in the competition so far. That makes 9.
Yeah, it's been a long road back for him, hasn't it, with injury after injury. But he's finally now back fit. His body is holding together, which is great to see. He's got a run of games under his belt. As you say, starting to get back towards the player we all saw and were thrilled by in 2018 in particular, and backed it up the following year as well, as Worcestershire reached back-to-back finals.
Kent gets out of the over well. That wicket of Adam Lyth coming in the 5th over. 65 for 2 though. Yorkshire still well above the run rate that they needed, going at 13.5, chasing just the 151. Oh, looks like just at 151 at the moment. 65 for 2 on the board.
First over they've had in single figures, the Vikings. That tells you how well they've assaulted this challenge of 151. Last over of the power play. Mitchell Stanley 1 for 16 from his opening over. Carefully run down to deep third by Cola Cadmore, given a life on 7. Not timed at all by Cola Cadmore, which is a surprise given how he's played in the opening dozen balls he's faced. Yorkshire will want to try, and if they are going to win this game, want to do it as soon as they can, because run rate will be important with the shakedown. That's away for 4. Thrashed off the back foot this time by Cola Cadmore. In the air, but enough height on it to get it over the ring at cover.
Yeah, they've got the best run rate in the North group, haven't they, at the moment?
Yeah, they're 3 points off Northamptonshire at the moment before this round of matches. But they do have 2 games in hand on the Steelbacks before tonight and a superior run rate. It's well bowled by Stanley, almost squeezing it through. Absolutely bossing the run rate at the moment, though. More than double what they need. Cruising so far.
Harry Brook, as you say, in and around sort of England squads, is in England contention, and the test match beginning up at Headingley today. In fact, I was reading that George Hill in the Yorkshire team tonight, his sort of claim to fame is that he carried out Stokes' bat in the rather famous Test match at Headingley in 2019. So the bat that saw them to victory. Yes, he was 12th man given the Test match was at Headingley. That's what he's known for so far.
Right.
Given
Fair
he's
play.
21. It's quite the memory he'll have. Oh. Did you order a fly past as well? Barnard back on from the New Road end after opening up.
I don't know my aircraft, but I'd plump for a Hercules maybe. That was.
Well, apparently it was a Hercules that came over. That one hit out hard. D'Oliveira fast across the turf, keeps them to 1. Came over our house last night. Low doesn't even do it justice. I mean, it was so low it nearly took the roof off. Frightened the children who were playing cricket to basically run inside. That one out of the ground. 6 more for Tom Kohler-Cadmore, who's again enjoying being back at New Road in fine form with the bat. 194 runs and 6 innings coming into tonight's match. Best of 77 in the competition so far. But yeah, I think I could have waved to anyone on board. It was ridiculously low.
You can see the whites of the pilot's eyes.
Yes. To the point where you thought, I'm not sure you're meant to be that low, are you? Right. Can hit hard down the ground to Kohler-Cadmore, straight to Brett D'Oliveira at long on.
So did it chug off in the distance with some roof tiles dangling
Yes.
like a mobile behind it?
It was one of those ones that was so low that you didn't even know where it was coming from because it was below any tree or roof line. Suddenly it appeared over the house through the village and away, I think, to an airbase. Josh Baker doing the fielding down there. Round of applause from those in New Road. End of the 7th, 84 for 2. 10 from that over. And just 67 needed off the following 13 overs for Yorkshire in what should be a rather straightforward victory for them, you would imagine.
Yeah, it's going to take some magic from Dwayne Bravo along the similar lines to the astonishing performance he turned in amongst the carnage at Wantage Road against Northamptonshire. But he's going to have to take a bag load of wickets as well as not really giving any runs away. How do they stop this Yorkshire juggernaut here? 84 for 2. Kohler-Cadmore seeing it absolutely massive. More runs here from him, just a single though.
It was a fine performance, wasn't it? That 2 for 15. You say when you
Yeah,
2
amazing.
for 15 off 4 overs when you over 200 runs scored.
He only conceded 1 4 in a match where there were 18 fours conceded. He bowled 14 dots when the rest of the Rapids attack produced 20 dots between them. That puts it into sharp context, and that's a gloriously placed and timed stroke from Harry Brook. Looked like Ed Barnard might scamper round in time to cut that off, but no such luck. And Brook gracefully caresses his way up to double figures. Made his England T20 debut in the West Indies at the start of the year. And is in fine form this season for Yorkshire in all forms of the game. 77 in the last T20 match against Derbyshire. And Bravo tries him out with a bouncer, not tempted. There's your one for the over. 62 left. Plenty of wickets, plenty of time. Miles ahead on Duckworth Lewis as well. That's 55 at the moment. If there was going to be a torrential downpour, wouldn't come to Worcestershire's aid. Pollock with the throw. He was struggling there, Brooke. A bit casual in getting back. Had to put the dive in.
Colin de Grandhomme-esque.
Almost, yeah. A direct hit would have been interesting. Lovely stuff from Bravo to end the over. Too good for Harry Brook. And sadly for the Rapids, no tickle through to Gareth Roderick. 6 coming from it, 90 for 2. Decent over from Dwayne Bravo. But the Rapids need more than decent at the moment. 61 needed, 12 overs remain, and they've only lost 2 wickets. Let's see what Josh Baker can do.
Josh Baker with his first over. Missed in the field. Will it just trickle away for 4? It will.
Well, it's a tough position on the edge of the circle at fine leg because you know the ball is going to come quickly and probably quite fine as well. And it was a decent attempt from Mitchell Stanley, but couldn't stop it. Not only that, but couldn't prevent the boundary.
This time hit hard. One bounce. 4 more. Kola Cadmore, who's certainly enjoying his evening, it has to be said.
Kola Cadmore just looks like he's batting in the park at the moment. An attempt of variety there from Josh Baker. That might have been one out the back of the hand. Just slapped it back over his head.
That one driven very hard. Thankfully straight to Kashi Valley. Found it long off. He's making it look like a different wicket, isn't he, really?
100 up, yeah.
Baker took 2 for 26 in 3 overs against Birmingham Bears earlier on in what was Worcestershire's only win in the competition so far. Brooke comes a little way to meet that one. He's already on 17. End of Baker's first over, 101 for 2, Yorkshire Vikings. 50 more runs needed from 11 overs.
It's not a good looking chart at the moment for the Rapids. The Vikings miles ahead. Look at the distance between those two lines. Well on course to complete victory at a canter here. 100 is up, 50 to win. Not even halfway through the innings. Rapids need wickets and they need them quickly. Bravo to continue. It's flashed away. That'll be 4. Brilliant timing again. This time from Harry Brook. Fast hands, strong wrists, cut away. Floated up that one by Dwayne Bravo. Lots of time to pick the gap, work the angle. Brook up to 21. Bravo's changing his field. Long on has gone back to the fence. Boundary riders at cow corner, mid wicket, backward point and cover. I mean, Crossy can't make the most of that full bunger. Well, if they can't retrieve the situation, the Rapids, the final 2 home matches against Lancashire next Friday and Nottinghamshire next Sunday. The next 2 chances in between that tomorrow. A very difficult looking trip on paper given the current form of the 2 sides. Birmingham Bears tomorrow.
They looked in good form last night.
Well, it's just picked off the Steelbacks with ease. Just running into form at the right time as far as they're concerned. But the derbies usually bring the best out of the Rapids, as we've seen already this campaign. That might be out. Oh, it's a fabulous effort, but rather sums up the way tonight has gone for the Rapids in the field. He's parried it over the bar for 6. Just too hot to handle out there at deep square leg. A change of angle. Right out the middle of the bat. And Jake Libby did well to get one hand on it, but just too well struck. Last ball offside this time, just the single. But Brook will pinch the strike. 114 for 2 at the end of that over. Is that 13 from that over?
Yep, 13 from the over. 101 to 114, and the 50 partnership as well. These 2 came together on with the score on 64. Change of ends for Mitchell Stanley.
Look at those partnerships as well. All double figures, all healthy. 50 is up between these 2. That's why they're winning the game on a cruise. Yorkshire.
That's inventive from Brook, and away for 6. Fantastic batting. takes him on to 35 from just 20 balls.
I'm not sure there's a lot you can do about that. That was just brilliance, sheer brilliance from Harry Brook. Impudent as well as brilliant. Magnificent stuff.
Well, Mitchell Stanley isn't slow.
Nope.
That's Josh Baker. Down at slightly wideish, the fine leg this time. This time Brook goes up, but will pick out Colin Munro on the edge of the circle. At mid-off. And that sees the end of Harry Brook. Fine knock from him though, 35 from 21. Mitchell Stanley has his second wicket of the evening after picking up Finn Allen. I have to say it's probably going to be too little too late with just 150 on the board, and Yorkshire already on 120, losing their third wicket in the 11th over, needing just 31.
Yeah, a bit of a front foot thrash from Harry Brook in the end. Senses that maybe he's done his job here. Couldn't quite find the angle to get it high enough over Colin Munro. Another wicket for Mitchell Stanley. 120 for 3.
Shut up, Khan out to the middle. Met with a bouncer.
Quick.
Yep. We may only need 31 Yorkshire, but Mitchell Stanley seems determined, as he rightly should be, to make it as difficult as possible. After he was flicked away for 6 from the first ball, follows up with a wicket and a dot ball, quicker again but down the leg side, being given as a wide by Paul Pollard. Yeah, I mean Worcestershire only had those two sort of partnerships of note until, well, one of note until that last one. You say about partnerships, 2 of 11, a 4 and a 7 as well. And then Libby and Munro, wasn't it, before Roderick and Kashif Ali rescued them somewhat to get the total of 150 on the board. Something to defend. Stanley again. This one lucky from Kola Cadmore. Not where he was intending that. Edgy and takes a single. Flies away behind him.
Yeah, that was coming for us, I think, that intended direction from Kola Cadmore. I think if it connected, it would have comfortably over us into the tennis courts behind us at Cripplegate Park.
Mitchell Stanley finishes up his over, 123 for 3. The Yorkshire Vikings, 11 gone. 151 the target, 27 to win. 9 overs to get them in.
Let's see what Pat Brown can do then. 1 for 22 from his 2 overs so far. There's your match summary. Looking good for the Vikings. 27 off 54 is the very straightforward looking equation for them. 7 wickets in hand. Kohler Cadmore leading the charge.
Always feel like it's going to be the way when you come back to your old club. Just to rub it in.
Dropped on 7. Would be the Vikings' 4th consecutive win over the Rapids in T20 blasts, and 6th in the last 7. So they've had the measure of the Rapids over the last few years. Game is not done yet though. 124 for 3. Should be cut off. No. Kashif Ali can't get there. He puts in the dive, but too fine, too fast. And Shadab Khan claims his first boundary. 128 for 3. 23 to win now.
Ball's racing over the outfield again, isn't it, this summer at New Road?
Yeah, again they've made it look fairly straightforward. 150 might be a decent target in terms of defending. With the greenness in this pitch, but pace there, bit of movement. We saw that from the Yorkshire bowlers. The Rapids haven't been able to quite replicate that in the face of some tremendously powerful hitting from Adam Lyth and Tom Kohler Cadmore. Harry Brook as well, looking in supreme touch.
You've also got, when you're defending that 150 on the board and, you know, round 7 and over, you're giving away 11 extras so far.
It's a huge game for Yorkshire next, I think, on tomorrow against Northamptonshire, and they get their England boys back.
Yep.
So you add David Milan and Adil Rashid.
And David Willey
into that mix already. I mean, that's a hell of a squad. Who'd you leave out?
That's, yeah, there's some names there. Just having a spot of practice in the Netherlands. And then David Willey moving back to Northampton as well. Back to his old club. Yeah, I've had some names and quite some different squad players in the Yorkshire side already in the T20 this season. And you look through the number of players they've had.
Well, it's gone in the end. Big, thick outside edge. He was standing quite a long way outside leg stump there, Shadab Khan, looking to give himself room. In the end, had to reach for that a little bit. Nice bowling again from Pat Brown, throwing it wide. And a thick outside edge taken by Roderick. But again, you can't help but think it's a little late in the day for the Rapids' chances here. 132 for 4. Miles outside leg stump. Aiming somewhere over long off. In the end, finding the gloves of Gareth Roderick. Jonathan Tattersall is the new batter. 1 ball remaining in this 12th over. Under 20 now needed for the Vikings. Plenty of balls in hand, plenty of wickets. Rapids need to do something special here.
Because Yorkshire have also had Joe Root played 3 games for them as well. In terms of overseas players as well, they had Dominic Drakes and Harris Ralph as well, so certainly getting through the squad.
Well, I think they've played more players than the Rapids have this summer. Another ball for Pat Brown. That's the 7th wide. 8th wide now.
8th wide, yeah. Five extras from Yorkshire, Worcestershire's innings. It also had 6 sixes and 10 fours, Worcestershire.
Single to finish off the over. 135 for 4. So a successful over for the Rapids, but it still cost 12 runs. Now just 17 needed. Cadmore, Tom Curley-Cadmore still there. Mitchell Stanley and Pat Brown, the successful bowlers for the Rapids. And that tells everything you need to know, really. 26, 38 and 56 really broke the back of this run chase for the Vikings. And these 3 partnerships at the top of the order. Just 17 needed now.
Mitchell Stanley will bowl his 4th and final over this evening. Picked up 2 wickets. This evening, Finn Allen for 11 and Harry Brook for 35. High in the air, but over the head of Brett D'Oliveira, who chases after it, will pull it up inside the rope. Throws it into Gareth Roderick, who's got the gloves this evening. Just 15 needed by Yorkshire now. Stanley with 1 wicket up at Leicestershire. Was in the squad for the Northants game that was rained off here last Saturday. That one in the air off the bat of Johnny Tattersall, but well short of Kashif Ali inside the ring on the offside. Again, in the air out to the point boundary. Just a single to Ed Barnard. As we mentioned earlier, one of Worcestershire's finest fielders. Disappointed he didn't probably shout the loudest, take the catch earlier that Roderick came and tried to claim, albeit with the gloves on. It was a long, long way for him to come and take it, and he didn't get there. I think Barnard, with a safe pair of hands, would have easily backed himself to take it, although in the previous game here we said Joe Leach was with us. It's never an easy catch. Not with a light sky and a white ball. That one dug in a bit by Mitchell Stanley. Short at Curl Cadmore. Frustrated he didn't get anything on that. 14 to win for Yorkshire. 3 from this over of Mitchell Stanley. 3 dot balls so far. One's hit out and over the top and will bounce away to the rope. Barnard can't get round to cut it off. And the over finishes with a 4. Just 10 needed now. 6 overs to get them in for Yorkshire. 141 for 4 they move on to.
Yeah, it was good over till that last ball. Spoilt it a bit. But Cola Cadmore knew that. Wanted a boundary off that final ball. Gave himself some room. Thrashed out through cover. 43 from 27. 141 for 4. So just 10 needed. Dwayne Bravo is the man charged with trying to prolong this match. He's sending Brett D'Oliveira out to deep third. He's quite square there. Field is spread. Staying around the wicket. Leading edge. Should carry to Pat Brown, who takes the catch well. The Rapids trying to go down, throwing a few punches here. And they've picked up a wicket. Dwayne Bravo, the successful bowler. Big, thick outside edge from Jonathan Tattersall's bat. Well snaffled, coming in from the cover boundary by Pat Brown. 141 for 5. Trying to work it onto the onside and leading edge. Jordan Thompson, who's already shown in the past, the Rapids, that he can bat a bit. 66 thrashed from 28 balls in the win up at Headingley last season. And they want to kill this game off. Still 10 needed. Bravo again taking his time over the field, as is his wont. Colin Munro going out to short cover. Kashi Fali down at fine leg. Deep square leg, deep mid wicket on the onside, waiting for a miscue. There's the bouncer. Trap is set. He's very, very keen. Gareth Roderick joins in belatedly. Umpire absolutely unmoved. Gives Jordan Thompson the finger, but only to tell him that that's one for the over. Bravo trying to make something happen here, though. Well, got everything behind that. Josh Baker did well because he knew any mistake then it was 4s. No cover behind him to the left or the right. Big job for him and mid-off. Got to have big hands and big hearts fielding there. And they're thrashing it through that V. Looking to get the game done. Still 10 needed though. Good over from Bravo so far. Takes the pace off. Well gathered by Roderick. Thompson back in his ground. The Rapids doing well. They're just letting the Vikings know they're still in this game, still around. The game's still alive, still going, despite the situation. 2 balls to go. Still no runs off it. Again, full from Bravo. This should just be a single. Really good over from Dwayne Bravo. But it's wickets the Rapids need. Again, he'll make the batsman wait here on that final ball. Another adjustment. Deep thirds coming up to the edge of the circle. He's helped out by non-strikers end there. Kohler Cadmore will trot through for a single. Might have been more if that hadn't cannoned into Thompson at the other end and a bit of Dwayne Bravo's right boot. But a very good over from the West Indian to end that. 143 for 5. The wicket and just 2 runs coming off it, but not enough for the Rapids. Yorkshire now just needing 8 runs to win. 6 overs to go. Kohler Cadmore within 1 hit of a half century.
Brown to bowl his final over. Three overs, 2 for 32 so far. Wickets of Adam Lyth for 29 and Shadab Khan for 6. Lights on the scoreboards very bright now at New Road. It's getting dull. Kohler Cadmore, Thompson rather, hits that down the ground. Doesn't exactly race away, but with the field up down the ground, it was still going to run away for 4. Say fast outfield. Colin Munro and Brett D'Oliveira mid on and mid off weren't going to stop that one.
Yeah, probably the worst shot we've seen in the Yorkshire innings so far, but sums up the game really. Still enough to hurt the Rapids.
1 hit. Thompson been keen to finish it off. I wanted to come back for a second, set off very quickly for that first. No pressure with 5 overs to go after this one. 2 to win for Yorkshire. 3 balls left of Pat Brown's final over. It's been another disappointing evening for the Rapids. Still just 1 win in the competition and 1 abandoned game last Saturday. And they're off to Birmingham tomorrow. Wide delivery. So 1 to win, still 3 balls left of Pat Brown's over. Albeit comprehensive victory really for Yorkshire and a disappointment for Worcestershire, as Yorkshire do take the single. Tom Kohler Cadmore, former Worcestershire batsman, seals the victory with 46 for him from 30 runs. Wrap up a 5 wicket victory down here at New Road. And Worcestershire still 1 win from the competition. 8 games lost from their 10. into today. 9 defeats in the competition. They're off to Birmingham tomorrow, which is going to be another very tough test, but we saw here they could argue they raised their game against Birmingham. What's their only victory, so it would be good to see that again at Edgbaston. I think it'd be much needed just for their own sort of on and off field situation. It's not going to progress in the competition, but just for cricket within the squad, I think they need to go and perform.
Yeah, there's another dejected looking Rapids squad as they make their way off the field tonight. Another defeat, as you said, Sally, still only 1 win in 11 games now, and that 1 abandonment. They've got 3 games left to try and get some more wins, but it's easier said than done with the trip to Birmingham tomorrow, and then finishing up here with 2 games in the space of 3 days next weekend, next Friday here against Nottinghamshire, and ending the Blast campaign for this year here against Nottinghamshire. As for Yorkshire, a very powerful performance. They look a good bet for the quarter-finals, and once they get their England players back, they look a formidable outlet. In terms of positives for the Rapids, if we are going to take some from this game, terrific partnership between Kashi Fali and Gareth Roderick injected some much needed momentum late in the piece for the Rapids, but although the 17th and 18th overs pulled off 41 runs, the last 2 only 2 apiece, I think it was, so Yorkshire clawing it back. But Kashi Valley shown great promise again, 46 from 32 deliveries, and good to see Gareth Roderick in amongst the runs, 31 not out for him. Career best figures for Dom Best. That sadly has been the theme of the Rapids Blast campaign so far. A number of individuals in the opposition recording personal bests against Worcestershire. Tom Best the latest one, and an old boy turned to rub salt in the wounds as well. Tom Kohler-Cadmore dropped on 7, and that was to prove costly. Roderick claiming the catch from way behind the stumps, running out and not getting the gauntlets to it in the end, somewhere out where it might have been an easier catch for deep cover coming in from the fence. But even if it had been taken, who knows, Yorkshire may well have gone on and won the game anyway. But Harry Brook with 35, Kohler-Cadmore finishing 46 not out, and those terrific partnerships at the top of the order, particularly the 77 between Kohler-Cadmore and Brook, really broke the back of the chase and put the Vikings in a position from which they never really looked back. For as far as the Rapids were concerned, Mitchell Stanley, 2 wickets for him, again showing glimpses of his potential. 2 for 40 from his 4 overs, 2 for 40 from 3.4 for Pat Brown as well, and Dwayne Bravo again impressive, 1 for 29 from his 4. But the cold reality is it's another defeat for the Rapids. They stay bottom of the North Group, 1 win from their 11 games, just the 3 points on the board, and just 3 games to try and improve that before they say goodbye to what's been a very, very disappointing Blast campaign to this point. So it's the Birmingham tomorrow night, and then the double header at home next Friday against Lancashire, and finishing up against Nottinghamshire on Sunday. From me, Dan Wheeler,
and me,
it's goodbye.
Good evening.